Welcome to another episode of The Ugly Truth. And today I want to talk about life. You know, what is life? What is this thing? What is this existence that we live as human beings every day? This thing called life on the planet Earth. And sometimes I find myself really wondering what it is I'm doing and where am I and what this thing is all about. And it's a trip sometimes to think about what life is about. I mean, because for most of us, for the very vast majority of people who walk this planet, we're born, we go to some type of school, and then most of us work our whole lives. Some of us like our jobs. Most of us hate our jobs. And there's a select few, a handful, that really loves what they do and they really excel in their field and they make a lot of money. But for most people, they work their whole adult life on into their older years working a job they hate, just to save up enough money so they can retire and live the last 10 to 15 years of their life without working. And I just find it to be quite perplexing, if you ask me. I mean, what is the purpose of life? Just to live, work, maybe you have a family, and take a few vacations here and there, do a few family outings each year, Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving. Is that what it's really all about? There was a period in my life where I was having something called Deja vu, and it was happening to me quite often. It was happening about maybe once a week. Sometimes even twice a week I was having deja vu. Now it's been a long time since I've had deja vu, but deja vu is basically reliving a moment in your existence that you swore happened in the past or the future or whatever, but you swore this moment actually happened, right? And it happened. You knew it happened. So it's just strange to look at your life and really wonder, what the hell are we doing? People go through life stacking up all kinds of money. They go through life, some people in futility, some people homeless, some people sick. And you ask yourself, how much control do you really have over your life? I mean, do you really have total control over your life? Or is it some things are just fate? You can't escape it. It was just that was the way it was meant to be. And, I wrestle with that question, and I always wrestle with the question is that what is life? And most people say, what do you mean, what is life? That's crazy. That's a crazy question to ask. And if you ask me, it's a crazy question not to ask. What is life? What is the point of this? What is the point of it? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. We're the top of the food chain. We are very, very, very intelligent creatures who walk the face of this earth. There's no one on this earth who is superior to mankind. No one. And with that being said, were we just really born to die? Is that what it's really all about? I mean, because we're not like animals, let's face it. I don't care what anyone says, we're not chimps. There's a clear distinction between chimps and mankind. We have another kind of intelligence. We have another kind of being that they don't have. We have We have a soul. We have something they don't have. They're just pure animals. Not to say that we're not animals, but we have something inside of us that differentiates us from all of life on planet. We have the ability to create, invent, the ability to organize different systems. You don't see monkeys in the woods building structures like homes. You don't see monkeys building complex systems like banking systems, judicial systems. You don't see them doing that. So where did we learn how to do this? There's something in us that they don't have. Where did we get this thing from? That's the question. And then next question is that were we just put here just to die? It just bothers me sometimes. You wake up in the morning, in the first 3 seconds of your existence in the morning, sometimes you have some really profound thoughts like, what am I doing? Where am I? Who am I? And what's the point of all this? Those are the questions that I ask myself. And for most of us, again, going back to what we do, we have the same repetition. We go to jobs we don't like. We don't live a life of any purpose. We don't feel like we've accomplished anything. And I think even when you make a lot of money, you still feel empty. You still feel like, what's the point? Because if that wasn't the case, why would you see all these celebrities, rich people, and they're depressed? And some of them even kill themselves. Right? So it's not about money. It's not that. It's not about fame. And you have Robin Williams. You have a guy like Anthony Bourdain. People that you think would have it all. And yet they're not happy. So there's something else. I think there's a level of confusion with people. Like, what is life about? If you're a thinking person, you ask yourself, what is it about? And if you ask me, life is just one big test. That's all it is. It's a test. And you say, what do you mean it's a test? To me, life is not what we think it is. To me, life, the earth is a bridge, right? This lifetime is just a bridge. This existence in this plane of existence is just it's a bridge. And this bridge is basically determines where you're going, right? Because you can't stay here. See, everyone's getting older every day. Every day you get older and older and older, and you see people you love and care about get older and older, and eventually they die, and it's sad. But we know we can't stay here, right? Can't stay here. We don't know where we came from before you were born. You don't remember that. You don't know where you're going. You're just here. But to me, it's a test, and it determines where the next phase of your life goes on this bridge. And you have to make a decision during this lifetime, and your behavior, your intent, and your thoughts have to follow that decision. And whatever you may think, I'm wrong, that's fine. But I think life is a test. And I believe that there's something in us that's eternal and never dies. It can't die. It can't die. Consciousness can never die. There's a piece of you, a soul that never will die. And it'll be here 1 billion years from now. And this lifetime determines where that piece of you goes. Yep. That's what I believe. And you're either gonna send yourself to the next dimension in a very happy place, where you're approved by God, the Most High, or you can live your life the way you want on your own terms and ignore everything of God. But then you're going to have to answer to God. And you will not be welcomed into the heavenly kingdom. And wherever you get sent, I can tell you it's not a nice place. You won't like it. And it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with being a good person. It has nothing to do with a lot of the things that we think with religion. It has nothing to do with that at all. See, all that's been made up by man. All these religions. See, it's all religion. But there's a relationship that you can have with God. And I believe that's a true, authentic relationship. And you listen to these, not these crazy voices in your head that tell you to go kill people. That's nuts. But when you listen to these sound voices of reason in your head, and you're doing the right thing, and you are accepting of this God, you accept him and you listen and you obey, and he's almost like your friend, almost like your imaginary friend that you talk to and you have conversations with. That, I believe, is the path that puts you on to the good place, into the next lifetime, and into eternity, to heaven. That's what I believe. Because I refuse to believe that we were put on this earth just to work jobs or to do these menial tasks and to die. I refuse to believe that. I think we're supposed to live life selflessly, not selfishly. To touch the lives of others, to help people, right? And to leave your community, your family in a better place after you leave. That's what I believe. It's not that complicated. We make things complicated as human beings, but that's what I believe it is. Because all these systems that we have on earth, making money, getting rich, living in pleasure, having sex, doing drugs, all these things really, all it boils down to, if you really think about it, it just boils down to escaping your own reality. Right? So you want to go out here and do drugs, you want to run out here and drink. You're just escaping your own reality. There's something in your own reality that you don't like. Making money, well, how much money can you make? It's marginal diminishing returns. Basically, that's saying is that after a certain point of any good thing, after a while, it does not bring happiness. So just because you make $1 million, and you know what, that may not be enough for you in a lifetime. But I'm sure if you get 100 million versus $1 billion, I don't think that $1 billion is going to make you any more happy than having $100 million. I'm pretty sure it won't. All these things that we have on earth, you have the richest people who are unhappy. So what that's telling you is that these things, these things that society sells you, riches and sex and drugs and material, they're selling you a false bill of goods that this is going to make you happy, and it's not going to make you happy. It can't make you happy. It can only give you temporal happiness, but it can't give you long-lasting happiness. It can't do it. And this is why people who are really rich continue to go out and buy stuff. They buy stuff because they need to keep that high. When they get down and depressed, they have to keep that high up. But after a while, it doesn't matter what they buy. After a while, it doesn't matter how many women they have sex with. After a while, it doesn't matter how much money they make, or where they go, or how many drugs they do. They have no joy left, because those things can only bring you so much happiness. But the problem is that when you use these things, when you use these drugs, when you're on sex, when you are running around buying stuff like there's no tomorrow. See, what happens is eventually when those things wear off, right? When you buy all these goods and have all this sex, eventually when that high wears off, you're probably going to be much lower than you were emotionally, mentally, than when you were before you had all that stuff. So it drags you down even lower. That's why so many rich people you see, they're depressed. Now, how would a guy like Justin Bieber be depressed? He's talking about pray for me, right? Here's a young guy. What is he, about 26, 27? He has it all. He's rich. He's famous. He can do anything he wants to do and go anywhere he wants to go, but yet he's miserable. Why is that? What that's telling you is that these things that society has told you are important, they're not important. It's always the simple things that make you happy. It's always the simple things. Just taking a walk out in a nice spring day in the park. That'll make you just as happy as going out and buying a brand new Ferrari. Right? And it only takes your imagination to really understand this. You say, "Oh no, when you crazy, I'd rather have a Ferrari." No, the Ferrari's gonna make me happy. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not gonna make you any happier. Because I guarantee you, just like any other thing that you've bought in your life that you wanted, just like anything else, eventually you got used to it and you got tired of it. We've all been out. We've been in a place in our lives where we met this woman. She was beautiful. She's the woman you always wanted, right? You put in the work. You swept her off her feet. You would. You know what I'm saying? You were. Smooth. You did all the right things, said all the right things. Took her out to dinner. Took her to the concert, a nights out on town, and you finally got this woman. But after you got her, and after all the passion and the love and the sex, and you saw her for who she really was, you're like, this chick she doesn't make me happy. I thought she was going to be different. I thought this whole situation would just be different, and it's not. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. These things don't bring you long-term happiness. See, long-term happiness can only be established by having a solid foundation with your Creator, with God. And that comes from within. Nothing external is going to make you happy. How could it? People think external things are going to make them happy, but yet happiness it's within you. Just like your sadness and everything else, it's within you. It's some of that stuff is self-imposed. How could you expect an external factor to change something internally within you? How could you expect that? It's only going to be an inside job that's going to change how you feel inside. And that's why people are so lost nowadays, because they have no sense of self. They have no understanding. So, it's up to you to believe what you want to believe. You can believe whatever you want. But the proof is right in front of you. And I think deep down inside of each and every one of you listening, you know what I'm saying is true. Because we've seen too many examples as of late and in the past. This is nothing new. It's not a new phenomenon. And this lifetime is only going to get crazier and more hectic. That's guaranteed. So, something to think about. So drop me a comment. Please subscribe. And as always, thank you for listening. Peace.